Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn."
Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is the beginning of the semi-final match, Darkest vs. LeMelm. So far, both teams have set up on completely opposite sides of the map.
Like both teams are trying to make a long route invade on their blue. Needless to say, blue team has a ward on their blue as they're going to invade. Red team hasn't taken any precaution toward their blue or their red.
Of course, creates a situation where blue team knows that their blue is going to get stolen and purple team doesn't know at all.
Purple team's going to start taking their blue buff now with Elise recalling and heading towards top lane. I feel that if their mid lane would have come back sooner, with Zyra leaving and Cho heading top, I feel like maybe if they would have come back a few seconds sooner, they may have been able to both steal their blue buff and defend theirs at the same time, or defend long enough to stop Skarner from getting that. However, it looks like Skarner's going to go back over and grab his red buff. Mumu is quickly going to go to his Wraith camp. We're going to see a Riven versus Zyra matchup. Lately, we haven't seen Zyra too often mid. With her scaling ratios and utility that she provides with her snare and her ultimate, in a lot of duo lanes, bot as a support. So to see her mid's going to be very interesting.
We have seen Riven mid earlier this week with the EU finals match yesterday. And it looks like Riven picked up first blood.
That's one of the dangerous things about having a bruiser playing mid against an AP champion. The burst and the DPS is so much greater. Damage that comes out from the abilities early levels. See Ezreal getting a lot of damage down onto Lulu and Corki, busting his ignite onto Lulu. Lulu's going to live with about 50 HP. Ultimately, though, I think the team comps are relatively even. I mean, you have a Mumu snare and ultimate, which is excellent. And then you have Leona's ult you can chain on top of that, which is amazing, but at the same time you have the Cho'Gath knock-up and a 2.5 second silence, and Skarner suppress, which is going to be key in a lot of these fights, especially where a lot of your damage is going to be coming from that Ezreal. If you can get in, suppress him early game, it looks like...
And there we go with second blood on bot lane. Going on with the CC though, the other team does have a Leona, which has 2 stuns and root, as well as Elise's root.
We'll see Ezreal trying to pick up that kill. He's going to get a little greedy, miss the Q, although Leona's still going to pick up the kill and get out of there. You know, it's very dangerous. Any lane that has a lot of CC like that with Leona is really hard, especially if they get an advantage early. I mean, Ezreal, by far the most played champ in Season 2, and continuing to be so in Season 3. And we look up in the top lane matchup, we see Elise and Cho, and I think it's really interesting. Elise, when she first came out, people were experimenting with her in the mid lane, and quickly we saw a lot of people move to playing her top lane. It's almost like she's on her own island out there. You leave her to farm, and what's great about her abilities, you don't really have to build a lot of ability power with her, being that her ratios are percentage HP based. You know, she's able to do a lot of damage to champions like Cho'Gath, to Shen. We see a Mumu,
and with the Mumu gang, we get a kill.
Ignite. Quickly, the blue team's going to take a 4-1 advantage.
I think blue team has an early game advantage because Mumu ganks are some of the strongest ganks in the game right now, and Skarner really just can't gank till level 6.
Ezreal trying to pick another kill on Lulu. He's going to miss another Q. And Amumu's going to miss the stun on Zyra mid. However, Riven is getting a lot of damage onto Skarner. However, with Skarner slow from his Q, he's going to be able to get out of there. Okay. Yes, they definitely have a very good early game. They also have a really, the team for blue, it scales really well. And one of the big things that we saw from the beginning of Season 2 towards the end, Amumu's ratios were so high. His Q was a 1.0 AP ratio, his ultimate was a 1.0 ratio. And he was getting so much damage. They had the controversy where they had a lot of these AP tanks that were able to build extremely tanky. You have an Abyssal Scepter, and then Abyssal Scepter got nerfed. All that damage is just coming out from those tanks, from those ganks.
Well, it's not just ability power anymore with the Mumu. If you build Leandre's Torment plus Rylai's,
Exactly.
I found personally that it is a lot of damage, and you can actually end up doing the most damage on the team.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things though that you don't see in a lot of higher elo, you see it a lot in solo queue, but get champions that are building very highly support jungle. You see Wriggle's Lantern, you see Aegis of the Legion, items that don't exactly do damage but provide the support for your team. If you have champions like a Mumu and that build more on the damage side, late game, the damage potential is so underrated. People don't think about it. We see Riven,
and Riven picks up a kill.
On Zyra. Leona's gonna get another snare combo on Lulu.
I think you do find this the late game damage from sort of support characters is starting to show through more in this particular season, where I find like Taric has a lot of utility and he's a great laning partner, but someone like Leona can set up a lot more in terms of CC in the actual team fights and can generally dump out more damage, I feel.
Yeah. Especially, anytime when you get a team that has a chaining ult. You have a Mumu's Q and his bandage toss into his ultimate, and then to land, say, Leona's ultimate on top of that. There's a period of time where you're chaining between, 1 to 5 seconds of different stuns from Leona's Zenith Blade and her melee stun on top of the bandage toss on top of her ultimate. I mean, there's so much time there to pass. At the same time, you have Lulu, who has the slow from her Glitter Lance and the knockup from her ultimate, which, although they're not as powerful of a CC, it's still something to help counteract what Leona and Amumu are going to be doing mid to late game. As we've seen early on, Leona has landed every skill shot I've seen her make, and it looks like we're going for a lane swap. Zyra's not going to be able to handle Riven, and even though she's 2 levels behind, we're going to see Zyra move to top lane versus Elise, and Cho'Gath go middle against Riven. Riven is still
and it looks
chunking down on Cho'Gath.
Cho'Gath is getting beaten up. He's out of mana now.
Riven is so far ahead. She has a Brutalizer and a Vampiric Scepter. At 8 minutes into the game, she's doing a ton of damage. Ezreal's going to
might be a kill.
Corki's going to get an Ignite on. Oh, and the Leona ultimate is going to turn that around for another kill onto the Ezreal.
That was really close. Ezreal almost died, but Leona saved him, and then they turned it around and picked up a kill. And that's another thing that I find is people think, the AD carry is, the most important character in that lane, and a lot of times it's actually the support that sets up the kills and sets up all the plays.
Guys, just a quick question. How far along in the game are you? Because you seem to be behind like a second or two with your commentary.
I'm at
9 minutes and 11 seconds, 12.
Yeah.
Can you press the go to live button at all? Because you seem to be just a second or two behind.
I'm at live right now.
Right. Okay, then I'll
jump to furthest viewed. I'm at 9:27, 9:28.
Yep, 9:28. Yep.
9:31, 9:32, 9:33.
I'm on 33 now, 34.
34. I will just
37.
pause for a quick second. Hey. Alright.
Someone was telling us that we're having a cross-continental time lag. That's very possible as well.
True, we
But
had
yeah,
the stream
go on,
coming
Tom.
from Europe.
Casting here in America on a stream coming from the European servers.
Using a TeamSpeak that's hosted in France.
Yeah, it's quite the time difference. But no, to go back to what you were saying about the AD carry, it's great to have your AD carry fed, but something that, a lot of people don't really look at lower levels is in that bot lane, you're sharing that experience with your partner. So when your bot lane is hitting level 6, generally you can see mid lane and top lane hitting 7 to 8, depending on how aggressive they are on taking wraith camps.
And there goes Leona setting up the plays again and setting up another kill.
Ezreal is going to land that ult this time. A lot of damage down, but Corki's not going to be able to do anything with his support down. Riven doing a lot of damage on the Cho'Gath, burning the Ignite, but it's not going to be enough.
Here we go for another kill.
Leona's going to land another combo, and that's going to be another kill on this.
That's exactly what I'm saying. The supports tend to set up all of the kills. Leona goes in, she drops her ult, which is on like a 36-second cooldown, and there's another kill for Ezreal.
Leona is playing an excellent game. 1 kill, 4 assists already. As we see this gold lead continue to climb over 4K. And it looks like they're going to try and take the first dragon of the game. And this is going to be uncontested. No vision on
Skarner
that,
might come down first. Yeah, no, Skarner couldn't get there in time.
A little too late.
No, it looks like Cho'Gath is going for a gank top or turning around to head back to mid.
Zyra's going to have to recall. No, that's... Like I was saying, you have the 80 carries in that get fed, but at the same time, you really need a good split of where your gold's going. I mean, it's great if you have 5-6 kills on one champion, but a lot of times you see when the AD champion gets 4 or 5 kills, they're still going to be under-leveled from mid lane, so it's not going to be as dangerous. Obviously, it's still extremely dangerous, especially when your whole team is ahead, but when you have one champion with all of those kills and all that gold, it doesn't necessarily mean your team is ahead if you don't have a team that can support that. Amumu making his way. He's going
up at top lane. Skarner's going in for a gank on Elise. Should be interesting since she can just rappel up into the air for a little while if she has to.
Oh, it looks like she's going to juke Skarner around. Skarner, there's no vision in these bushes how he's going to land the slow.
There she goes, rappelling out.
And she's still going to get the kill on Zyra? No, the Ignite is not going to be enough. Skarner's going to hit the ultimate.
And purple team picks up their second kill. Elise had some good jukes, but she probably should have just gotten out of that fight.
Yeah,
Didn't have enough damage, and they just... too much. Skarner's too tanky for her.
Very easily have gotten away from that, especially being that Skarner wasn't able to land his ultimate there. However, we see Riven picking up another kill. Riven with a double kill on the bot
Triple
lane.
kill.
Triple kill into Cho'Gath, chasing back into the jungle, and it looks like they'll be able to steal this blue buff too if they want. Put pressure onto this bottom turret. Your turret is, if they choose to push it, I think it's going to go down relatively quickly. Ezreal doesn't have the most damage right now, so he's got that Ruby Crystal, a Vamp Scepter, and a Doran's Blade. No real damage yet.
And it looks like they're going to take the inner turret without any problem on bot lane.
When Ezreal goes back, he's going to have a lot of gold to work with over 2k gold. Go back and buy with. Riven's got 2.2k after that turret. And we have 1.4k on Amumu to go back with. It was dangerous enough to see how much damage they've been doing this early in the game, but after they come back from this going from an 8, almost a 9k gold lead, they're going to come back as we see Ezreal's going to finish a Bloodthirster already. That is a Bloodthirster Ezreal versus a Greaves double Doran's Blade Corki. That is a very, very big advantage.
Well, just look at the CS. Mid lane you have Riven with 110 compared to Zyra with 46, or even Cho'Gath who only has 80. The overall CS of blue team is just completely taking out purple team. Not just the CS, in kills it's 12-2. That's almost a 10,000k gold lead we have at 15 minutes into the game.
As I was saying earlier, one of the good things about Zyra is, although we don't see her as much, the fact that her ratios are, do a lot more damage based on percent HP, both current and missing. She's able to get away with not building as many of those AP items. A lot of times you will see the hunting guys in sword shoes, but a lot of times you'll also see a frozen heart or a lot of HP stacked under her because her ratios with her HP do so much more that she's actually quite tanky. We see a Mumu getting caught out here, landing the ultimate. Riven's going to get in here. Riven's going to pick up one kill. Skarner's trying to finish off a Mumu. However, Riven is going to stop him. Pick up a double kill. Corki is going to finish a Mumu finally, but Riven is just extremely dangerous right now. The Leona ultimate, a triple kill onto Riven. That is ridiculous. A 15-3. Riven with 123 CS and 8-0.
Doesn't really seem like there's much purple team can do, because blue team's just, they latch on with that CC, and then Riven or Ezreal comes in and deals all the damage.
It really is. I mean,
just dropping them.
You would look and hope that for the red team that they would get some sort of mishap, but Leona has played an excellent game. I haven't seen her miss an ultimate or a snare. Now, presumably misses there just as I say that, but he has played an excellent game.
Now both mid and bot lane are pushed to their base turrets, and we do have an over 10k lead, 4 towers. The game is very, very one-sided.
You know, and to look past just saying the gold advantage, you look at the itemization of both teams. I don't see one fully complete item for the red team, other than boots. I see no complete items. Versus a Bloodthirster on Ezreal, a Cleaver almost completed Bloodthirster on Riven, haunting guys and sword shoots for Elise. I mean, there's...
Yeah, you even
already
see...
has Aegis of the Legion. I mean, there's... The itemization is so far ahead for this blue team that I really don't think there's anything they can do. I think that they could push base turrets right now and have no problem. I mean, I don't think there's any way that the red team can contest this dragon, and Zyra's top. Although Elise is at base, red team does know about it.
Well, even if you look at the supports, you see the advantage. You know, Leona has well over 1,000 gold on Lulu, and it looks like blue team's gonna pick up another dragon, and there's just nothing that purple team can do.
Here comes the Leona ult, the Amumu ultimate. Pain CC is so strong for this team. Riven with 1 kill.
Cho'Gath dropping Cho'Gath and Skarner. Ezreal finishes off Lulu, soon to be Zyra.
On Ezreal landing some Qs there. That was something that I was very skeptical about early on. Ezreal missed a lot of his skill shots early. Mystic Shot could have picked up, I believe, 2 extra kills early. He missed on Elise is going to jump down on Corki. Amumu is going to get
and Amumu might survive. Amumu survives.
Amumu is going to live to Elise coming in as the savior.
I think one of the other things is blue team just has a lot more teamwork, where purple team, you know, they've been trying to work together, but like the synergy down in bot lane and just the team working together to save each other and to drop the CC and chain CC combos is much better.
Timing, you see Skarner come in and pull an ultimate on Ezreal, and it's only Skarner at Lulu tower. There's no real damage there. The ultimate finishes, and then all of a sudden you have Leona who's caught up by then. Pick up another kill on their jungler.
Yeah, and right there, you know, you see Cho'Gath going after Ezreal. Leona jumps on that, leaving Lulu back for Riven to pick up that kill.
Even at such low HP, I mean, you see Leona pushing right now with nearly nothing. She's going to get feasted by Cho'Gath. However, it just doesn't seem to matter. It looks like Riven's going to go for the execute right now, but Corki is going to pick up the kill if she dies to turrets.
Oh, and Skarner's right there. She's gone. That's the first death for Riven.
Isn't gonna matter. Corki, I mean, that's huge. That 500 gold is huge, but I almost think it's a little bit too little, too late. Hey, one of the biggest things that I found in playing this season is how much Cho'Gath is used. I mean, it's so big. At least, you know, even with his stacks alone, you can see low itemization on Cho'Gath and still see 3k HP, and it's just such a huge character in the way in those team fights with all that CC, the silence, the feast. he's such a threat in team fights, but he hasn't been able to get ahead enough, and the team behind him doesn't have enough damage for what little tanking he can do. I mean, there's nothing he can do as strong as Cho'Gath is.
He also isn't terribly mobile, you know. I've been noticing he'll go in there and the blue team will kind of fade away from him and then sneak in the back and pick up a kill there or draw someone off.
Exactly, and I think that's where wards come into play. I mean, blue team wards are a little bit I mean, you see the ward red above Wraith Camp and the ward at blue, but red team has no wards. And they haven't had wards for the past 5 minutes. I haven't seen much warding in this game, but Cho'Gath pushes middle. He's got no wards behind him to know if anyone on their team is behind him.
Yeah, blue
Riven
team
right
has
now just so
blue
much
team has
damage.
complete control of the jungle right now. They've been stealing their buffs. They've been stealing their camps.
Purple team's
Yeah, there is
turret has been
absolutely
destroyed.
nothing. I mean, we see a nearly 16k gold lead and climbing. It's
17k gold lead.
17k not. Oh my, it's ridiculous how fast. You know what I'm finding in the other games that I've watched through this, the gold leads are all relatively this high. I've seen a lot of games where they're very one-sided.
All of the matches through this tournament have been very one-sided, which, you know, in some ways is unfortunate because I kind of want to see like an even match, but
Oh, yeah,
for a
it's always
first
a great
tournament,
match. Especially to see a match where you have a team that, say, not so far ahead, oh, we're seeing a GG well played from Skarner, are we going to get a surrender vote? I don't actually know if they're tanky enough to take this turret. They are. They're just going to try and tank this second Nexus turret as well. They're going to go for maybe insult to injury, a last kill on Cho'Gath.
yeah, Leona and Amumu are just taking up all the tower shots. Leona's not even feeling it from what I've been seeing.
They're so tanky, and her CC, I mean, even if she's tanking that with such low cooldowns to be able to drop the CC, they're taking no champion.
And there goes the Nexus. Oh well.